it's Michelle in Illinois in Garden Zone 5. Welcome. So today we're talking more about design elements, flowers, shrubs, but these are beautiful plants and structures to add to your garden. So let's take a look. I wanted to bring you outside early in the morning. We're at the end of February. By the time you see this video, it will be March. But in Illinois today, it is supposed to get to 70, which is unseasonably warm for our area in February. So I am so excited and wanted to get outside and shoot a video this morning. Of course, you'll see behind me, nothing's in bloom yet. It's way too early. The garden arch has the Generous Gardener roses on it that did really well for their last season last year. And they do have green underneath, but of course, no leaves or anything this early in the season. So there's not a lot to show you in the garden today, but I just wanted you to be able to be back outside, hear the birds in the background. Even the birds are super excited with this warm weather. And I did want to show you a couple things in the garden that we're going to be talking about today. And I'll show you some pictures. I'll include pictures of what these items look like when they're either blooming or also like on some of the structures with what the summer plants look like on them, because I know it's kind of hard to tell now here early in the season when everything looks brown. Not very pretty, but you'll get the idea. So one of the first things we're going to talk about today is spring flowering ornamental trees or shrubs, because in Zone 5, within the next few weeks, our local garden centers and big box stores will be getting in their spring assortment of ornamental trees and shrubs. And so if you're on the lookout to add these to your garden, you might want to start making your list now and pick out what you want. So when you get to the garden center, you'll know exactly what to go for. So one of the first ones I want to talk about is the Jane Magnolia. Now I planted one of these in my garden a few years ago, and since last season added 2 more. And let me take you over and show you the Jane Magnolia, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's flowering in the springtime and some other things. Okay, so this is the Jane Magnolia. Now I want to get up close so you can see the pretty buds on it. They have kind of like a little fuzz on them, like a little peach fuzz all over them, and they will open up here in a few weeks' time. And the reason I like the Jane Magnolia is it comes usually when you purchase it in a shrub form. So it has multiple trunks on it, but you can prune this into a tree shape if you prefer a tree shape. And this is good in zones 4 through 8. It gets 10 to 15 foot high. So it's a small tree or shrub. It does take full sun. And so the blooms on it are a real pretty burgundy purple when they're closed, and then as they open up they have more of a pink, and then when they're completely open you see some white. And those blooms last 2 to 4 weeks, and then it gets really dense with dark green leathery leaves all over it. Let's talk about the next one, which was next to this one in my back garden, and that's lilac. Now I have the old-fashioned lilac that has been there for many years, and there's all different varieties of lilacs. Now what I like about this lilac is that it works in zones 3 to 7. It gets up to 12 foot tall, and they come in all different colors, either purples or whites or pinks or yellows, and all different sizes. So up to 12 foot if you're getting the standard shrub type, but they also come now where you can get the tree form. So it's more of that lollipop form where you get the trunk and then the little ball on top that's full of lilac blooms. So maybe you could tuck that into your garden. And then also Proven Winners has a smaller version of the lilac called Bloomerang, and I always want to call it Boomerang, but it's Bloomerang lilac, and it only gets to 6 foot tall. So that may be a good option. And on that variety, it also boasts of re-blooming throughout the season, because on my older lilac, of course, it only blooms in the spring, and then it's done for the year. And then it fills in, and you have that dense foliage that makes a nice living wall. in your garden and a nice backdrop to other things. But some of the new varieties now do bloom again. Next, let's talk about a few design elements to add to your garden because it's right around the corner and maybe you need to purchase these. So I will add links down below on some design elements that I found because I have this in my garden. I have done a video on it. I will link the video down below. It was from last spring. My husband and I put this wall trellis up. It mounts very easy and it's made of metal. The thing I like about this is that it's accordion style. So you can size this for your space. You can either make it bigger or smaller depending on what you need. This would work really good on a fence, on a garage wall, on a shed wall, or any type of place where you can mount this and hang this. I've liked it so much that I have went back and purchased it 3 separate times last season and put it on 3 different fence panels for different climbing plants. I do not have this one, but I thought this one was really pretty, and it's from Gardener's Supply, and it is tall though. It is 9 foot tall. What about a freestanding arbor trellis? I added one last year that I really like. It is from Kinsman Garden, and I will link it below. It's great for an entryway, for a seating area, or anywhere it works for you. This will give you impact for a structural design, and you can add climbing roses, vines. And then the other one that I liked was from Gardener's Supply, and it is a Gardener's Supply exclusive, and it's called the Ariana Arch. And I thought it looked very elegant and would look really nice in a cottage garden. So now that you have those beautiful structures on order, you're going to need some beautiful flowers to add to them. So let's flip back over to some flowers and talk about some climbing roses. So 2 of my favorite climbers are from David Austin, and the one I do have on my trellis, and that is Generous Gardener. Generous Gardener gets up to 15 foot tall, and it's best known for fragrance, and it works in zones 4 to 11, and it has that pretty pink color. And the second option that I really like is Claire Austin, and she is a white rose. She's smaller, she only gets to 12 foot, and she's best known for health and fragrance. She works great in zones 5 through 11. Now, either one of these would be beautiful, either on a freestanding trellis arbor or on a wall mounted trellis. I want to talk about seeding because this is the time where you're planning out your garden and maybe looking to add some additional seeding to it. So I want to give you a couple of different new seedings that you can purchase that I had found online, but also just give you some inspiration. So we'll look through some beautiful ideas just to inspire you and get you thinking. Some of my favorites are, of course, the white bench that I have out in my garden. It is the classic English bench, and it comes either painted. I've seen it in white, I've seen it in black, I've also seen it just in the wood finish like in teak. So if you would prefer a metal bench, there's metal bench options. How about a bistro set? Now, I picked up my bistro set when I was thrifting the chairs, and then later on at a cute little flower shop, I found the bistro table and put them together. So they're technically not a set, but they do work together well. I like that because you can move that to different spots in your garden to take coffee breaks, have dinner outside. Now you can get a bistro set in either wood or metal, and then the metal, of course, comes in all different colors too. There was just a few ideas and plants to add to your garden this spring. If you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you're wanting more design inspiration, check out these videos next.